Hey everyone, we're live again. Let me invite Laura. Hello, hello, we're just getting started. Inviting Laura to join me. Hey Tina! It's Tina! Thanks for coming. Just invited Laura to join me. She's a fiber artist, so if you want to learn more about her. Hey Jackie! Thanks for coming. Thanks, Tina. Hey Brandon. Hey Jackie. Thanks for everyone for coming. I wish I could have commands work in here. Hey Laura, I just sent you an invite. Hopefully you got it. If not, you can send me a request here. And then, oh, it says you weren't able to join. Let me send it again. Let me send it another time. There we go.
Oops.
There we go.
Sorry.
Oh, it's all good. Hey, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Now I gotta adjust my phone again. Hold on.
Yeah, me too. I had it all set up for a full screen. I wasn't thinking about. Good, that works.
It works.
Good.
So, for everyone joining, thanks so much for coming. I really appreciate it. And so my name is Patricia. I'm the founder of Crafter, and I wanted to interview Laura today because she's joined Crafter and she's a wonderful fiber artist, and we just wanted to get to know her a little bit better and share it with you guys. So, Laura, do you want to take a second to introduce yourself, tell a little bit about who you are?
Sure. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. So I'm Laura. I'm a fiber artist in my day job, I do something else, but in every spare moment I have pretty much. I weave things like this behind me. And mostly woven wall hangings. I do some like little knickknacks occasionally here and there, and some keychains and stuff. I'm trying to push more into like.
Oh, I didn't know all that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm trying to push
That's why I
some
do these.
different kinds of products, but yeah, mostly wall decor. I've been weaving for like 5 or 6 years, and started my business 2 years ago, coming up in December. And
Congratulations.
thank you. Yeah, I've been doing fiber art. Like I started knitting when I was about 9 years old. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
kind of like in my hands, in my
Yeah.
I've
Well, I saw you had listed, you had like that you knit, embroider, crochet, like it's like the whole list of things. So that's awesome.
yeah, I really enjoy. I always said like, oh, I'll never sew or quilt. I just bought a mending machine, which is like a
Never
basic
say never.
sewing machine. So for those of you who don't know, so yeah, I'm on the
Yeah.
way to probably like all of the fiber arts.
All the things. Well, that's cool though, because then if you're inspired by one thing versus another, then you can go into whichever field or like, medium you feel like
I think,
trying, you can go ahead and,
yeah,
right?
there's the possibilities for. I guess I don't know if you'd call it mixed media because it would all be fiber, but like mixed technique.
Right.
Like I've
Yeah.
been exploring a little bit of embroidery on paper and embroidery on weaving, and like this piece behind me has some lace in it, vintage lace.
Yeah.
I like
Right.
kind of embroidered secured on with stitches. Yeah.
I love that. I love that because it's very cool because you get all the different layers of texture. So it's very three-dimensional, very I don't want to say tactile. I don't know what the right word is, but it's very like sensory, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
I think
It's very cool.
tactile is actually a great word. That's what I tell people
Okay.
is one of my favorite things about weaving, for me anyway. And I don't know that all weavers feel this way. I wouldn't just say like walk up to anyone's stuff and touch it. But for me, like if you ever see me in person or at a craft show or something or art market, as long as your hands are clean you can feel free to touch what I make. And similarly, if you buy it and take it home, like you can feel free to touch it at home too. Like your
Right.
hands, it's not like a painting where you might damage it, really. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
you don't want to like pull on it too hard or wipe peanut butter on it, but like other than that, you can
Keep it away from
definitely touch
children.
it. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, awesome. So you said that you have been doing all of these things since you were, what, 9 years old, you said? So was there somebody in your family, I'm assuming, that inspired you or taught you, or how did that come about?
Yeah, so I started knitting when I was 9, and the rest kind of followed. My grandmother, one of my grandmothers, is the one who taught me how to knit, and she also does needlepoint and embroidery and things like that. And then my other grandmother, it's actually her loom that I weave on, although I'm not sure if she ever used it. She passed away when I was younger, so um, and then my mom is super creative too. Like I did a lot of collaging and scrapbooking and stamping with her. I think
Yep.
she's watching actually. So hi, mom.
Hi.
Um,
I love it. Mom support is the best.
yeah, she called me right before actually, and I didn't pick it up because I was like, like I gotta get ready. And she
Oh, sorry
wanted
about
to find out how to watch. And I was like,
Oh yeah, yeah. I try to help as best I can with links and stuff, like click the link. But yeah, it's if you don't know all the social medias, it's hard to keep track of like,
I,
where is this? How do I get on? Yeah,
I
totally
told
understand.
my boyfriend that I was doing a Facebook Live, and then I was like, no, that's
Oh yeah, yeah. You would have been disappointed. You'd be like, there's no one here. Yeah. That's awesome. Tina is in the audience as well. She said she loves scrapbooking as well. So it's very fun activities and things like that. And is your mom Ruby? Ruby's 59. Is that your mom? Yeah. Okay. Nice to meet you. She said she was always doing creative things, which I'm not surprised if you were already doing all that stuff at 9. That's for
yeah.
sure. That's awesome. I love that.
Um,
So it's very cool that it's all kind of like related. You know, family like taught you and you've learned all these different skills, which is wonderful, honestly.
yeah.
Yeah, very cool. So I was also going to ask you, you say on, I believe it was either your Instagram or your website that you want to make holistic art.
Yeah.
And I had an idea of what that might mean for me, but I was just curious how you would word that to people as well so that they have a better understanding of what that means.
I think for me, it means just art that like isn't just about the beauty of the thing, but also about the way that it, or just about the larger community and context, I guess. So it's like if you buy art from me, you know you're getting something that is as sustainably made as possible. It probably has some thrifted items. I can include special items of yours, like my like if you have a necklace that you want like woven in, or like I use brooches sometimes, earrings, even the last piece I did, I had thrifted some vintage clip-on earrings and I just like clipped an earring, it's a little bead, like kind of bobble
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah.
And, but it's also about like, for me at least, I guess, creating with intuition a bit. And so
Mhm.
it's not like just me imposing my vision on the fiber or the frame. It's kind of like a dialogue, I guess. Like I feel like it doesn't make as much
Like a
sense, I guess,
story.
with fiber because maybe it doesn't flow. But to me, it's like it like whatever is
Mhm.
trying to come out kind of like flows out from my hands, and
Mhm.
almost like with a writer or a painter, like the pencil or the pen maybe like leads you a little bit. I feel like
Yeah.
the fibers lead
You
me.
have to have kind of that creative intuition at some degree.
Yeah.
And I love that about like when people order art commissions, a lot of times I tell people as a consumer, a lot of times we might not necessarily know what we want.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like some people are very specific, don't get me wrong, but there are also other customers that are like, I want something cute, or I want something, and it's very, very broad. It's very vague.
Yeah.
So it's nice if you see somebody that has a style and you can go to them and say, maybe you want certain colors or maybe you want a certain like shape or whatever, but then give you the as the artist the chance to kind of create something really cool based on your experience and your intuition, and then the person's like, wow, this is great. I love that.
And I will say, even when I try to duplicate myself. Like people might have seen if they follow me, I've made two, like I call them seafoam weaving,
Yeah.
and they're
Hmm.
like visually similar, but they're also very different. Like I used a lot of the same materials, but I used some new stuff too in each one, or different stuff, and it just kind of comes out differently each time.
Right.
So, I mean, you can show me something, especially that I've made, and I can be like, yeah, I can, kind of recreate
Yeah.
that for you, but it's always going to have this little bit of difference
Yeah.
because I
It's gonna
don't,
have a little bit of originality to it every
yeah.
time. Always one of a kind piece. I love that.
Some people that's fine for, and other people are like, no, I want to know that it's going to look like what it looks like in the picture. And
Yeah.
that's okay too. It's
Yeah.
just not, honestly, not what I feel capable of doing. Like I said, even,
Right.
and I think
Well,
partially because I use so many fibers and techniques too, that it's like,
mhm.
it's not like a pattern I can really duplicate. It's like an idea that I can duplicate.
Right. And honestly, you're not a robot. So it's like if someone goes to you and says, I want exactly this, usually, well, there's two parts of it, I guess. One part is I usually say, if you want exactly something and you bring it to another artist, get it from the artist that you found it from, because really it's their idea.
It's like,
And two, like I said, you're not a robot. So even if they go to you and they're like, I like this exactly, you can do the best you can, but there's always that little disclaimer of it's not going to be the same exact. I did love you have a lot of pieces where you like I'm kind of jumping ship, but the when you weave in certain like beading or just that little extra, like I just love the details in your work. It's like whether it's a different fabric or if it's a different little, it just adds a little extra, and I just really love that.
very much. I love the details. I think that's what makes the piece so special. And there's also, to me, well, first of all, I just like stuff. Not like stuff, but I mean, like I like a lot of decor. I have like a gallery wall in my living room that has like probably 20 pieces of art, like all different kinds. Um,
That's awesome.
and so there's something comforting and soothing to me about kind of being able to get lost in those details,
Mhm.
whether that's like tactilely with actually touching them or just looking.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
I do want to backpedal for a second just because I realized I said something that made it sound like, oh, you can bring me a design and I'll like do it for you. Like I don't do, like
Oh yeah.
something from an artist, you should get it from that artist, not from me.
That I knew you meant that in regards to your own
Make
work, not someone
all
else.
the audience knows too, because
Yes,
know,
yes, very much.
important to be clear.
Yeah, yeah.
um,
No, you had mentioned bringing someone if they said, I see one of your pieces,
yeah.
can you make a duplicate? And we segued. So hopefully that's clear. Let me think. So you had mentioned also that you use a lot of like sustainable
Mhm.
fiber and things from either vintage stores or thrift stores or things like that, which I love. Do you have places locally that you go
Mhm.
to, or how does that? Do you have like a favorite shop, or how does that work?
Yeah. So, first of all, I should say I mean, sustainable is sustainable, but I take kind of, again, a holistic definition. So it's not just about being like eco-friendly, but also like
Mm-hmm.
local somehow maybe, or community rooted. If it's not a small business in my area, it's a small business in a different area.
Mm-hmm.
I and when I do purchase from larger companies, like say Malabrigo is a really popular yarn company, they're still a family owned business. Like
Mm-hmm.
um, I always get the acronyms wrong, but they're certified so that like the dyes they use are eco-friendly and things like that.
Oh, that's great.
Um,
Yeah.
but locally, I'm in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I don't mind saying, I think it's on my bio.
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
in the area, there's a great place called Share House. It's on Jackson Road.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
like, it's a thrift store. They take everything, and so it's part like, I don't want to say like, like not dump, but like the best kind of like where you can just go and find anything. Like they have pairs of old skis, they have like old bicycle parts, they have
Oh, so it's like really
and, like,
everything. It's not
uh,
it's not just like
softwares.
clothes.
Yeah, no, I mean they have like doors of all different kinds, windows, like folding closet doors. I find a ton of yarn there. Um, I've also found really nice. I'm looking to start incorporating some florals, and so I've gotten some like fake flowers and stuff there to try out.
That's an interesting
Um,
idea. Yeah, that'd be cool.
and they
That'd
just
be really
have
cool to do that.
everything like mason jars and like
Mhm.
different shot glasses and like thermoses and just I also thrift a lot of my so I've done a few kits in the past and I'm going to be doing some more and but they're all like
Okay.
as is my style, one of a kind. And so like I
Yeah.
thrift the bag and then I build the yarn colors based on the bag. So
Yeah.
you have like a carrying case or a carrying bag for it while you're working on it. Oops, excuse
Okay.
me. And then so I thrift those. I get most of those there. And I also love my local yarn shop Spun. They're amazing. So, where else do I go in town? There's a great online shop actually, Make and Mend. So that's one I would recommend for any like artist, crafter, anyone that likes to use secondhand supplies. And they have really good deals there online.
I love that. I love that you try and support small business and local and all of that. Um, because I feel like that really does make such a huge difference, especially now that I've started my own business and I see like I've even had artists on Crafter buy from other artists on Crafter just because
Yeah,
like they're like, cool, like we know each other, we have a shared interest, we're trying to support each other and help each other grow.
yeah.
And I just it's just it means so much just for everyone watching anytime that you shop from
Hmm.
Laura, myself, anybody, if you buy, it does make a huge difference. And I don't know, we appreciate you. That's all.
I
Um,
see that meme going around the like any holiday really. That's like every time you purchase from a small business, an actual person does a happy dance.
yes, that
Which
is, that
that's
is
me.
very,
I do a happy dance.
yeah, exactly. It's true. You get like excited about, and especially with like art commissions, it's like I get so excited because not only do I know that one of you guys get a win, I also do a dance because I get to see what you guys come up with, and it's so exciting because it's always different. It's always something like that I might not have ever even thought of.
Yeah,
So it's very cool.
I
It's very
love the
cool.
collaborative process of doing commission
Yeah.
work and like being able to take someone's vision kind of and help them bring it to life. One thing I really want to try to do more of is actually, because I know like people tell me all the time, like, oh, I have this yarn that was my grandmother's or, my child who passed away and, that's horrible.
Mhm.
But like they have this yarn from people that
Yeah.
they love
Yeah.
or fabric or, and it's like I could take that and I could make it into something for you that you could, put on
Yeah.
your wall or in a special place where it can remind you of that person. And um,
Mhm.
or just like it could be like I said, people have given me like necklaces to put in their weavings or like sometimes I just thrift the jewelry, but
Right.
it's really cool to use those personal touches and
Absolutely.
yeah, I need to figure out a good way to talk about it better because people don't really think of like me using materials they have to make something for them. But
It, it's just because I think it's different because I think it's been streamlined where you see people make maybe a blanket out of a bunch of old shirts
Mhm.
or I've seen things like that when it comes
Right.
to people that we're trying to honor and respect after they pass away. But I do really love, honestly, if you let people know, hey, I'm just trying to make take your grief and make it into something personal and respectful that you can enjoy. And, if you walk into someone's home, you may not realize that
Yeah,
that's what that is until someone says, oh, that's beautiful. And then that person has the opportunity to say, yes, it's a very important piece to me because it honors my grandmother or my child or my whoever. And then they have a chance to talk about happy memories. And it's a nice talking point,
yeah.
not nice.
And the
Yeah.
cool thing too, I framed it kind of in a like remembrance way, but like you could have yarn that your mom gives you and she lives 5 minutes down the street and you still right now and you still have me make it into a great piece that is like remindful of her.
Yeah,
So
absolutely, absolutely. Your mom now is going to be like,
yeah,
make me one.
my mom has so many pieces in her house. Honestly, because she is like my biggest supporter, and of course, I know she loves what I do. So I'm always like, Mom, do you want another piece? Do you want this? Like, here's the pieces I have right now. Would you like one? And she's like, yes, but where?
Yeah, she's like,
Like
if you can find a place.
every room in her house probably has a piece of my art, which is really cool.
Oh, that's so good though. I love that.
I need
That's
more
good.
walls, she says. Yeah. Well, and she
Very,
also loves to decorate and is an amazing like home decor person. So she has a lot of great other art too besides mine.
I love it. I love that. Yeah, my parents are very much decorators, and it's very fun because they like to switch things out for holidays and stuff. So,
She
I do get a lot of
too.
holiday oriented stuff for them. And my mother-in-law as well is very much into art, so she has a bunch of paintings everywhere. So yeah, it's really nice to
You're in a great
um
profession for them.
it works out great. Yeah, because now I it's really hard not to shop too much though. Because I'm like, I'm gonna buy so much stuff. But it is really awesome. Do you have a commission or a piece that you did that might be your favorite that you wanted to talk about, or maybe even just a piece of art you made for yourself, or is that hard to?
No,
You've been
it's
in
hard
business
to
for
narrow it
years.
down. I have my like a few favorites actually.
Okay.
So I'll try to describe them, but not spend too long because you know. But one is called Rainforest. They're all larger, and it's
Okay.
like it has a blue stripe running through it, and then like just a bunch of different textures and stitches, like kinds of fibers. And it's supposed to evoke the rainforest and like what it might feel like or how overwhelming all the different colors and textures
Yes.
might be. Um,
Mhm.
and it has some beading in it and like some beads dangling from the fringe. And yeah, those really detailed pieces are like what I love. So my other one is one of the seafoam pieces. I guess I've made two so far, and I love them both. One was my first one. I made it for my grandmother, so that one has like a special place in my heart.
Mm.
And then the other
Yeah.
one was commissioned, and I think I like the way it turned out a little bit better. And it's on a piece of driftwood from Lake Michigan, which is really cool and special to me.
Is that the one that has the lace and stuff in it too?
Yes,
Is
it's
it
like
lace? Yes.
and frothy at the bottom, and then it
Yes.
kind of goes up
Yes.
in blues. And
Yeah.
the woman who commissioned that is from Hawaii or used to live in Hawaii, and so hers has more like teal tones and kind of those ocean blues. And it's like very vibrant to kind of evoke that like Hawaiian like teal, vibrant, like just bright ocean.
And these are such fun beachy colors anyway, like the teals and the whites and
Yeah.
things like that is just a beach house theme, which is very, very awesome. So
Yeah.
that's very cool. Um, so I'm trying to think now. We talked about family, we've talked about artwork. Now you do a little bit of kind of every style or every kind of medium. You're gonna go, like you said, maybe into quilting. Is there a favorite out of all the different styles of embroidery, crochet, and do you have a favorite one that you're like, I wish I did more of this?
Um, Honestly, I like them for different things. Like weaving is what I really like to do for like as an more expressive and art. Like when I embroider, sometimes I embroider on paper and use like my own ideas, but a lot of times I do kits. And so I'll customize the colors maybe a little bit, but it's mostly just kind of like, and knitting too, it's like more following a pattern. And so it's something I
Yeah.
do more for relaxation and as a hobby. Whereas when I'm weaving, it's more for like creative expression and
Okay.
share. Um,
Gotcha.
and sometimes I guess I would say weaving is like my base for like the art that I make. And I might incorporate some elements of like embroidery or knitting or crochet.
Gotcha.
But I kind of keep those as more of like a personal relaxation thing.
No, that's good to know though, because then you have, different outlets depending on how you're feeling, and that's important, and a lot of times I feel like artists can get really burned out
Mm-hmm.
and they need different, if they get kind of in a rut, like artistically, then they need a different kind of avenue to be like, just need to not do this right now. I need to try to step away and try something different to try to ease whatever stress or block that
Yeah.
they're working through, which is important. Um, so, is there any other questions or any other things that you wanted to share? I think it's important that everyone always says how we can reach you and the
Yeah.
best way to follow you and things like that at the end so people can follow your page when they're done watching this.
Yeah. What else do I want to say? Thank you for having me. This was really fun. You made
I love doing
Yeah,
these.
you made it so like easy, and it was great to just chat with you and to see the other people who joined us. Thank you all for being
Yeah.
here, or if you're watching after. Um, yeah, I am. You can find me on Instagram. That's the best place. As most artists, I think, or a lot. I have a website. I have an email list that I'm working on, but I primarily use Instagram, and these days I've started a new job, and so I am on Instagram less. But I'm super responsive to DMs actually. So if you want
Yeah.
to even just to say hi, like I saw your live, I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like it, like whatever. If you want to chat,
You didn't like
I'm
it.
sure everyone liked it, but I just mean, I
Do not DM me that.
yeah. I like to chat, I like to meet new people. And if you have any questions about like custom work, you can find me on Crafter. Yeah. And I'm going to get that link isn't even in my bio, but it will be after this.
On your bio. Yeah, that definitely, definitely. So for any kind of original commissions, of course, you can find Laura on Crafter.
And
Her Instagram, because I'm going to say it out loud, is Intertwined Fiber Art. Is that right? That's both the website and the Instagram. I just like to be able to have people follow if they're like, oh, she's cool, I want to follow her. I love doing these kind of interviews. I just like to talk to people because one, I get to know you better as a person. I get to know, what kind of jobs would you want more of?
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like what stuff. Actually, before we end, do you have a favorite topic or favorite that kind of?
doing a
Because
topic for like work, you mean?
yeah, so sometimes people really love making holiday stuff. Other artists are like, please, if I make any more holiday stuff, I will jump off. And then other people's like, oh, I love this. Like some people love nature, some people love fan art. So I'm throwing it out there if there's like a specific thing that you're like, oh, I love this. I
I
love this thing.
love nature, but like nature, but in a more not abstract necessarily, but it's not like photorealistic, right? So like I would love to make
Yeah.
you a weaving, like a seafoam weaving that has like the foaminess at the bottom and kind of fades to blues and like gives you the feeling of a wave, hopefully. I would
Mhm.
love to make a rainforest or a forest or a meadow or, wildflowers in a field. Um, I I have a series that I do of holiday trees and
Mhm.
autumn trees, but I'm kind of expanding into like any color treetop you want. I'm about to make a blue one for a friend actually.
Love it.
Um,
I love it.
so yeah, I love to do like funky, quirky little trees. You can see those definitely on my Instagram profile.
Yes.
Um,
Yep.
and then the holiday trees too. So I like to, whatever background color you want, and then like a nice evergreen tree. We can do sequins, we could do beads, bells. If I could find some, I might be able to lay my hands on some little bells.
Yeah,
Kind
absolutely. Now's the season to do that. They're probably everywhere at this point.
of
Yeah,
yeah. So
awesome.
yeah,
See, that's good for me to know because then if someone comes to me and they're like, "Oh, I really wish I had some wall art that's like nature inspired," I have like a inventory in my head of who does what, and that helps me go, I know who I can connect you with. So All right. Well, thank you so much, Laura. And I appreciate everyone in the audience for
Yeah, thank
coming and
you for
supporting
listening to
us.
us.
If you have anything you need at all in terms of something for the holidays, whether it's for yourself, for your loved ones, please check out Laura. I'll be tagging her, Instagram and her crafter profile and all of that for you.
Um,
And yeah, I appreciate it so
I
much.
appreciate you too. Thank you.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.